Hey guys, what's going on? Teo Vanyo here, and I have a special gift for you today. Okay, so I am going to show you one of my sessions inside of my mastermind, and these are part of my weekly sessions that I do every Thursday at 12 Eastern, and these are exclusive only to my mastermind members. So right now we're up to session 45. What you're going to get is one of my sessions that I did where I showed students how to build a six-figure ecom Shopify store selling t-shirts, okay? How to go from 0 to 6 figures and eventually to 7 figures building your e-commerce empire. All right, so in this video, I teach you number one, how to do the $1 million math, okay? How much do you need to make in order to make $1 million? And this is the things that I teach inside of my mastermind for my students. And here's the thing. I want to show you guys this one screenshot, okay? Here's a screenshot of one of my students. His name is Jimmy. And Jimmy started about 4 months ago. 4 months ago, Jimmy came onto the mastermind and he wasn't doing any sales at all with his Shopify store. He watched all my video trainings. Okay, and this is just one of them that you're going to see out of the 45 that we have. So he just watched one of my video trainings, and 4 months later, okay, today, February 10th, 2018, Jimmy is doing $170,000 per month on his Shopify store. He's about to break $200,000 this month alone. Okay, and just to read here, right here, January was a game-changing, life-changing month for me. This month, I far exceeded even my own expectations for how far I could take my e-com store. Through constant testing, patience, hard work, and obviously under the guidance of Teo Vanyo and my fellow stingers, I was able to achieve unreal results that changed my life. And this is freaking awesome. Like, I spoke with Jimmy just a few days ago. And he's like, yeah, dude, you just changed my life. I doubled my income. I was able to quit my job. Jimmy was working for the government in Washington, D.C., and he was able to literally quit his job and work on e-commerce and building up his Shopify store full time. All right, because of the things that he learned inside of my mastermind, the things that he learned after watching all of these videos. Okay, so on YouTube, I've posted maybe around 2 or 3 of those mastermind videos out of the 45 sessions that we have. All right, so I want to also give you guys another special gift. So in this, there's a link below. Okay, take a look at it. socialstinger.com/10x. Okay, 10x. And I want to invite you to a free webinar where I'm actually going to show you my proven formula, my Facebook ad formula, to showing you how my students like Jimmy, how my students like Mercedes, Ray, Brandon, Evan, Peter, how they're able to go from zero to making literally thousands of dollars per day. And we're not talking about a few $100 a day. This is thousands of dollars per day over multiple students. Okay. My goal is to get 100 students to over $100,000 on Shopify. That's exceeded that, right? I want to now get 1,000 students to making $100,000 on Shopify and more. I mean, you take a look at a student like Jimmy, $168,000. That's pretty hard to fathom, right? I mean, you take a look at this. Like, this is a screenshot from his Shopify store. You can see right here the $2,000 per day mark, and then you can see how he went all the way reaching up to like $10,000 per day in sales, in actual sales. Imagine making $10,000 per day. Just that would change your life. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to register using the link down below. It's a free webinar that I'm going to be hosting, and I'm going to show you step by step how my students are able to 3x to 10x their sales, even if you're stuck, even if you don't know how to pick products, even if you don't know how to build a Shopify store, even if you don't know how to get started, but you want to get started, just like Jimmy, he's able to change his life in literally 4 months. Okay, I mean, a lot of us, we go to college, we go to school, and then we end up, not even knowing what to do, right? And then all of a sudden we try to get our jobs, and these stable jobs eventually, they're not making enough for us. And take a look at someone like Jimmy. Okay, he's a prime example of that. He's a prime example of being able to break free out of the system and using my teachings and the things that he's learned in Facebook advertising to actually change his life. All right, once again, I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy this webinar training that I have. on what you're about to see. And also do not forget to register for this webinar training that I'm going to hold for free for you to help you understand how to get there. Okay, it's not an easy task. It's not a get rich quick scheme. This does take a long time to do. I mean, 3 or 4 months ago, Jimmy, if I were to ask him, would it be possible for you to make $2 million a year? And he wouldn't even fathom that. I mean, $2 million, that's literally what he's doing right now. He's on course to doing $2 million and up from just his one Shopify store. All right, that's freaking amazing. That feels great for me, knowing that my students are able to take the things that I taught during these webinars, during these mastermind trainings. Like I said, we're up to 45 sessions. Okay, this is incredible stuff, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the inside. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Okay, perfect. Can you guys all see my screen? Everything's good. Put a 1 in the box. Everything's good. You guys ready to get this going? Welcome, guys. Session 34. Okay, really excited to be on here. A few shout outs to some members. Shout out to Jay. Jay is absolutely killing it. He's at $200,000 a month. Shout out to Mercedes, just hit $135,000 in total sales. And shout out to a lot of you guys that are hitting $1,000 days, like Jimmy. Okay, I think Jimmy, you sent me a screenshot. You're at $1,400 a few days ago. Congrats. We have another student here named Reinhardt. Reinhardt is he already did $118,000. And this is a screenshot here, $118,000 since joining. I think he started like right around here, and look at where he's at right now. He's almost breaking to that 5K, 6K per day. But we just have so many students. Like, I haven't even mentioned everyone on here, but if I missed you guys, I apologize. But just some of those that really stuck out this week. Congrats to you guys. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. Okay, Zishan says, yeah, I'm in New Jersey. All right. Yeah, so like I mentioned, there is a Shopify event later tonight that I'm going. If you guys are going as well, I'll see you there. But otherwise, if you're not, that's fine. Yeah, it's in Hoboken. Yep, so the event's in Hoboken. Yep. So today I want to go over 2 things, guys. First, I want to go over the $1 million math, okay? Basically what you need to do mentally to prepare yourself to make literally $1 million, right? Some of you guys are already on your way there. Some of you guys have already done it. Some of you guys have done it and you want to do it again. So this is the $1 million math, and a lot of times, especially when we're doing this business, we kind of limit ourselves to what we're capable of really doing. We limit ourselves in terms of, how far we can scale. And I know I've talked to a bunch of you guys that actually broken through the limits. Another one is Anthony, right? Anthony is up to $1,000 a day within just, I think it's $1,000 a day if I remember right. Let me see what you're at right here. Let me see here. But basically, it's just unlimiting your potential. Yeah, he's almost at $1,000 a day. He was at $648 just yesterday, right? I mean, here it is. Here's another student right here. $648, November 28th. So that was like the 27th right there. I'm pretty sure he's past that. But basically, it's unlimiting your potential. And some of you guys haven't even done the math yet in terms of unlimiting your potential, in terms of, basically finding out where you want to be in the next 6 months, where you want to be in the next year. Okay. So one of the activities that I like to do is I like to do some math. And the $1 million math is basically, okay, if I want to make $1 million in a year, how much do I have to actually make? Do you guys actually know how much you have to make every single day to actually hit $1 million? I think the math is like right around $2,733 or something like that. Okay, so to hit $1 million, you have divided by 365. You have to hit $2,739 each day. Okay, so let's do the math here. And we're also going to get into e-commerce and how the math works in e-commerce as well. So in order to do $1 million a year, okay, you would have to do $2,739 per day, every day, okay? Or let's divide that number again here. So 1 million divided by 52, you'd have to do that $19,000 every month. 19,000. Let me see here. Actually, sorry, every week. $19,230 per week. Okay, or let's break it down to divided by 12. That's $83,000 a month. Okay, $83,333 a month. Okay, so this is the math that you should be looking at. Now, in terms of your mentality, okay, take a look at where you're at right now. Okay, so for example, some of you are at, let's say $500 a day. Okay, so 500, multiply that by 365. So you're at $182,000 a year. So if you're at $500 a day, you're at 182,500 bucks. Okay, so 182K per year. Okay, so you guys remember the quote of Einstein? If you keep doing the same results over and over again, you're not going to be able to get different results, right? So what do you have to do to change your mentality to get to that $1 million a year? So what I used to do back then, and I still do now, is that I take a look at myself. Okay, I want to make X amount. Okay, but what I do is I break it down to little bite-sized pieces that I can chew on. So for example, if I want to make $1 million a year, I have to make $19,000 a week. Whatever I need to do to get that $19,000 in that 1 week, just like the whole Napoleon Hill mentality, right? I wanted a car, I wanted a house, I wanted something, and I picture that every single day. So that's what you got to do. $19,230 a week. Whether you do that in the last part of the week, all 19,000, or if you spread it out throughout the entire week, whatever you need to do to get that $19,230 a week, and you put that in your back, in your mind, and you tell yourself, I need to get this no matter what. Okay, so how many of you guys have actually done the math in your business? Put a one in the box if you've done the math. Put a 2 in the box if you have not done the math yet. David, how you doing, David? Okay, Nate says yes, I can do that. Okay, Nate says one in the box if you've done the math, 2 in the box if you haven't done the math yet. Nate says 1, Peter, Mercedes, Deshaun, yes. Okay, so most of you have done the math, good. Now, have you actually done the math and actually, basically did the Napoleon Hill mentality where you're like looking at it every single day and you actually want to hit that number every single day? Like every single day you wake up saying to yourself, I got to make $3,000 today. How many of you guys have actually done that? Put a 1 in the box, put a 2 for yes, put a 2 in the box if you haven't. Zishan says, just did it now. Nate says, but the math didn't meet you yet. LOL. Yeah. So sometimes the math didn't meet you, right? So like sometimes you're like, oh man, how am I going to get there? How am I going to get to that $2,739 a day? Nate says, yeah, the math didn't meet. Okay, so 2 if you don't do that. Okay, 1 if you have. Okay, so we have mixed here. So 2s and 1s. Okay. So some of you guys have not done that yet. And I want to change that mentality for you. That's the most important step here. You're going to trust me on this. In terms of actually hitting those numbers, you're going to think to yourself, okay, I'm going to spend $1,000 today. It's basically the difference between you diving in and saying to yourself, I'm going to spend $1,000 today so I can make $3,000, or I'm going to spend $5,000 today so I can make $15,000, or I can make $20,000. Okay, how many of you guys, if I told you today that you should spend $1,000 on ads right now, how many of you guys would actually do it so you can actually get to the next level? It's pretty hard, right? It's pretty difficult thinking about it, especially when you're in different stages. How many of you guys, if I told you you have to spend $5,000 today, or if you have to spend $10,000 today to make $30,000 or $40,000 in one day, how many of you guys would actually do that right now? But not knowing that you're actually going to make $30,000, $40,000. Yeah, not a lot of you guys, right? So it's pretty difficult to get into that mentality. But this is a reason why we went back in the previous sessions of those $1,000 ad sets. It's hard to dive in. Now let me ask some of you guys who've actually done this. Yeah, Nate says it's a hard mindset hurdle. Of course it is. Let me ask some of you guys who've actually done this. Those of you that I went on calls with and I told you to do a $100 ad set, or I told you to do like a $1,000 ad set. Let me see how many of you guys are on here. Okay, those of you that I've told you to do that, and you've actually gone out and done it. For example, my very first One of my earlier students, Brandon, he was in the same predicament, right? I mean, he was like, microphone is muted. And you might be, can you guys hear me okay? Put it on the box if you can hear me okay. It might be your settings there, Uka. Okay, everyone's hearing me okay, yeah. So yeah, Brandon, remember back in the days where I told you, dive in, spend $100 so you can make 300, 400 bucks. Were you actually skeptical back then? Brandon's like, yes, LOL. Were you actually skeptical back then when I told you to do that? In your mindset, what were you thinking? What are the thoughts? Um, imagine you guys doing that right now. Imagine I told you you're spending $100 a day. Imagine I told you to spend $1,000 a day to get more data, gather more data, get it a lot faster, so that you can hit your $2,700 per day goal. It's pretty nerve-wracking, right? Yeah, Brandon says, I was scared, LOL. Peter says, when can I ask questions? So we'll go over that here shortly here, Peter, after the $1 million math. Mercedes says, I was super nervous and was glued to my ad account, but you are right, it took me to the next level. Yeah, there you go, right, Mercedes? When you dive in, when you stop all your fears and you know that this is a hot winning product, you know that this is going to make you a lot of sales, you dive in, you play big, okay? Just like the big players. The big players didn't get there by spending, little budgets. They didn't get there by spending, $50 a day total in their advertising. They didn't get there by spending only $30 a day total in their advertising. They found out what was winning. They found the path. They knew that if they spent X amount, they did the math. Okay, they did the math in terms of, okay, so if I have 100,000 people reach, my average for this would be X amount. Okay, X every single time I reach 100,000 people. Now, if I reach 100,000 people, theoretically, if I reach 100,000 people every single day, and the math works out right, I'm going to make X amount per day. So instead of doing 100,000 people reach in 1 month, okay, you do this exact same thing right here, but in 1 day. Okay, that's basically the mentality you have to get into. It's hard to dive in. Brandon says, can you let Brandon come on mic to share? This is great stuff. Yeah, if you want, Brandon. Hey, so I want to ask Brandon, maybe Brandon or Mercedes or Jay, those of you guys that actually dove in, and when I told you, hey, spend $1,000 a day, spend your first $100 a day, spend your first $400 a day. Would you guys actually want to get on a mic and kind of share your thoughts and share with other students here? Let me know if you do. Okay, Brandon says sure. So let me see if I can put you on mic here, Brandon. Let's go to attendees. And I guarantee you, this is probably where a lot of people struggle. A lot of you guys are struggling because you're not diving in right away when you see an opportunity. You're kind of playing it safe, right? With the $3 ad sets, the $5, the $10, you're playing it really, really safe. But I guarantee you, those of you that have done this, that have went in and then just dive right in and said, okay, I am 100% on this. I am confident. I know that if I spend $1,000 a day, if I do it right, through the strategies that I've been taught on Facebook how to do this $1,000 a day, it's going to work. So let's go ahead and let me unmute you, Brandon. Let me see here. Hey, Brandon, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey man, how's it going? We're talking
Good.
for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, but it's crazy, right? I mean, the first time you did this, I think you're on your way to New Jersey, right? To
Yeah,
meet
that's
me.
right. It's crazy thinking back about it. It was like I
Well,
was
hold on,
talking.
hold on. Can you guys hear him? Okay, can you guys hear Brandon? Put a one in the box if you can hear Brandon. Okay, everyone says, okay, yep, you're good.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy thinking back about on it because I was talking to you and I was like, I told you I was like, all I want to do is find a winning product before I get out there, and I already had my flight paid for, paid a few $100s for my
Yeah,
flight,
I remember
and
that.
And then I remember it was like a day before I came out there and I got like 3 sales in like the first couple hours on, the product that I was selling. And then, when I got out there, you started telling me, start just dumping money into it because you got a winner here. And I was kind of
Yep,
scared when we
yeah,
recorded that video. Uh,
I remember.
but I did it. And then I think the next day we did like $400 or something. And then
Yep.
you told me to throw like 1,000 in, and then I was even more scared. but everything worked out and it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's really like what were you thinking that back then? I mean like back then I understand that, it was a lot in investments, right? I mean like the first $100 even. What were you really thinking? Were you like, "Oh my gosh, is this gonna work?" Or
Oh
is
yeah,
yeah,
I
right?
was definitely skeptical about it, but then after the first $100 and I saw the returns, I was like, man, this is crazy. It's like I put so much belief into it, but even the thousand, it was kind of scary too.
Yeah, you remember the time that I told you that your goal was like 50K a month, right? Or something like that.
It was just to make
And
50K. It wasn't even
yeah, to
50K.
make 50K. Yeah, total to make 50K.
Yeah, total.
And then I told you that this product here, from my experience, I know you could be doing like 50K a week, right? And that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, I think we
I
we
think
got it
you're
up.
close to it, right? You're close to like 50K a week.
Yeah, it was close. I think we ended up getting up to like 9K a day or something like that, 10K a day.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it was
But
it was
yeah, it's all
definitely.
the mentality. It's definitely 100% of all of this, doing all these Facebook ad things. It's all about the mentality. Um, if you were, let's say we flash back. If you were back then and you were still spending your $30 a day, would you ever imagine being where you're at right now?
Oh no, absolutely not. I would still be doing like $80 a day,
Yeah.
$90 a day in sales.
Yeah, right. And here's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, a lot of our students, they're still struggling in that aspect, is because they're kind of afraid to just dive in and spend a lot of money. I mean, you have to take calculated risks, right?
Right,
And
right.
that's exactly what you did. You took a calculated risk. You saw that there was an opportunity there. You saw that there was money in this one product that you were selling. It eventually turned out to be multiple products, and then eventually you built up your pixels, and now you have this huge list. And now you know exactly what's going to happen next time you go around doing this. So
Right.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Let me see here. So let's see. Mercedes, do you want to get on a call, or Jay, do you guys want to get on a call? I want to see what you guys' thoughts on in terms of just diving in. Mercedes says sure. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to unmute you, Mercedes, and I want to hear your thoughts basically on your mentality on when you first got started and how you dove in and started actually doing those $1,000 days. Can you hear me, Mercedes?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Well, I've got to say that I definitely blocked myself a lot. Like I feel like I've been my biggest obstacle to getting past my limits because you got that fear inside of you that you could lose your
Yeah.
butt
Yep. Yep.
and your
No, for
shirt,
sure.
trying to
Yeah.
do all this. And I still I still have bills and I still have other things going on, so it's pretty scary. But it definitely helped me to be able to talk to you and have a mentor to just to see the bigger picture, to see that it is people are doing it every day. So the first $100 was nerve wracking, but once I got past that, then the next part was 500 and then
Yep.
1,000. So definitely I did see more profit, and I did see that I did go to the next levels every time that I pushed past a barrier.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all the mentality, right? Like you said, you were your own. You were the only one that was basically holding you back, holding yourself back. Is that fear? The fear of that you can lose everything. Of course, in business you can lose everything, but when you find yourself a hot winner, you go like you said, first $500 day, first $1,000 day, next $2,000 day, and then you just recently asked me about the $1,000 day ad set, right? So yeah, you just got to keep testing, keep going out there and keep pushing it. You can do it. Um,
Thank you. I
all right,
appreciate
yeah,
everything you've done so far for me. I don't even know how to thank you, because you can only get so far with like the free stuff, on YouTube.
yeah,
You can only get so far with that kind of stuff, but really having like a community, and just even sometimes when you have an issue, just kind of going, putting it in the search, and seeing that other people had the same issues and how they resolved it. It's just really cool.
yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad I was able to help you get there, Mercedes, and help you get to those goals and help you reach it. But like I said, just keep going. That $1,000 ad set that we mentioned in the previous sessions, do that. Try
Yep,
it.
I'm going
Listen.
all in, but I'm not gonna lie, I do glue myself to that ad account.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, no, no. You're gonna see that. Like Literally, like when I first started doing like $1,000 ad sets or the $5,000 per day ad sets, right? Ad sets, not campaigns. These were ad sets. I literally took my iPad everywhere we went. My wife was like, "Oh, we got to go to Target." I'm like, "I'm taking my iPad to Target and turning
Yeah.
off ads while we're in Target." Right. And that's literally what we did. But yeah, it's all in the mindset, guys. I mean, I'm gonna unmute you, Mercedes. Thank you for that.
Okay. No problem.
But yeah, it's all in the mindset, guys. Jay says, I dove in and it jump started me at first. Hey, do you want to get on mic here, Jay? But didn't like that method. Don't want to discourage the other guys with that you're teaching. Yeah, that's fine. The $1,000 a day, it's not going to work for everyone, right? It works really well for like high retail products. That's why you have to go and test every little detail, every single thing that we've mentioned. Just test that out. It works for some, it works for others. I'm still doing it right now. It's still working great, still producing great ROI. If it doesn't work, then try something else, right? Jay says, I saw the percentages go way down below 10%. Now, have you tried everything? Have you tried the view content? Have you tried the website conversion, the view content, the initiate checkouts, the add the carts, and the purchases? If you've tried those, and also the page engagement, if you tried those and it didn't work, then it might not work for your particular. Trey says tried it all. Mix of 100 to 1,000. Yeah, so if it didn't work, then it just didn't work. Sometimes some niches are different, right? It's not a one size fits all. All right, guys. So that's really one thing that I wanted to go over, the $1 million math. Now, in terms of e-commerce, it's really simple, right? If let's say you're making 100K, $100,000 per month, and you're netting around, let's say 25%, that's 25,000, right? So 25K. So you think about that and you say, okay, 25,000 divided by, let's say 30 days in a month. That's about $800 per day in net profit, 833 per day. Now, how can you, let's subtract, let's say 2739 divided by 833. So that means you have to make 3.2 times, you multiply this by 3.2 times of your earnings to get to your $2,739 per day. Okay, or you basically multiply this right here by 3.2 times earnings. Okay, so basically your goal is to get to $320,000 per month in terms of e-commerce. So if you want to hit this goal, the $1 million net per year, you got to say to yourself, how do I get to this part right here? How do I get to the $320,000 per month? Okay, how do I get there? Now here's some ways where you can actually do that. Okay, you basically scale your lookalikes. You test your engagements. You do your if you're doing video, you can scale your video. Okay, let's go ahead. And then if you're doing different, you can try at the carts. You can try view contents, your initiate checkouts, and purchases. Okay, retargeting, and then DPA, dynamic post product ads. And then you can do. So DPA has actually been doing really, really well for me. If you guys haven't been doing DPA, take a look at that. We'll do a whole session just on DPA. But DPA is actually one of my best converters right now. So lookalikes, engagements, video, at the carts. So in order to get to this point right here, you got to do whatever it takes, right? You got to do whatever it takes to increase this by 3.2 times earnings. So every day you picture yourself, you think about how you're going to get there. If you need to launch more ads, launch more ads. If you need to basically create new products, find new products, do whatever you need to do to get to this point right here, to the $2,739 per day, so you can actually get $1 million per year net. All right. Now, the next thing I wanted to really go over, so we went about 30 minutes into this, but the next thing I really want to get over today is basically promos. Okay, what to expect in 2018, how to plan for 2018 promos, and also what to expect for Christmas. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday, how many of you guys actually did well Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Put a 1 in the box if you did well. So either one or two things happen. you either did really well or you did very poorly because there was too much competition. So put a 1 in the box if you actually did really well. Put a 2 in the box if you did very poorly Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Mercedes said 1. Okay, perfect. Who else? Peter said 2. Okay, Bobby said 2. Nate said 2. Brock says 2. Worst day of the month. Yeah. So I would expect that. So what happened Black Friday, Cyber Monday was that a lot of the bigger players actually went out there and they started dumping a lot of money into it, like literally $1 million a day ads, okay, campaigns and everything. And so what happened there was the numbers skyrocketed, so the CPMs actually went up. But on the other hand, the AOVs went up as well. So those were the times where more and more people were buying bundles, more and more people were doing all these other things. How many of you guys have actually tried the email campaign? Put a 1 in the box if you tried the email campaign, and put a 3 in the box if you were successful with it. Now, the email campaign would actually work well if you have a big list. If you don't have a big list, it's not going to work very well, right? All right, so ones. Okay, what is a big list? A big list, meaning a big list of customers, a big list of actual emails. Like if you have 1,000 customers, you would email all 1,000 customers. 5,000, 10,000, you would email all those customers out. Brock says, I didn't have bundles set up. My conversions went from 12 to 2%. And Brock, was that through Facebook ads? I mean, yeah, so a lot of people on Facebook ads, they were, a lot of the guys that were doing like really, really big budgets, they were actually getting crushed. Yes, Facebook ads. Yeah, so basically that's probably what happened. All of the bigger guys actually got a big portion of the traffic. Bobby says from my websites. Okay, sent all abandoned carts from my websites. Yeah, so that's not really going to work. You have to have a customer list. Mercedes says, I gave a free gift with purchase of $75 or more. That helped a lot. Boom, perfect. There you go, right? Email was okay, but post engagement was best. There you go. So keep testing those things out. All right, so I want to go over with you guys what to expect this year. Now, if you take this video seriously, if you take this webinar seriously, this might make you 6-7 figures, okay, this year. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you, okay, let's go list of awareness months, okay, and then list of holidays. Okay, so planning your campaigns out in advance, you'll do very, very well. Okay, so let's take a look at the list of well, not really national health observances. We can do that as well, but more likely of month-long observances. Okay, you guys ever heard like these month-long observances, such as like No Shave November? Right, we're in November. I had a few friends who literally did not shave for like November. But there's a bunch of these different awarenesses that we can get into and actually do very well. So we're in the month of November. So let's go back. Let's go down to November. Okay, and let's see the types of events that we have here in November. We have National Diabetes Awareness Month. So this is in the U.S. National Diabetes Month, National Adoption Month, World Vegan Month. Okay, those of you who are in the vegan niche, you can write your ad copy for Vegan Month. National Caregivers Month, National Veteran and Family Members, Military Families Month. Okay, so you have all these different events going on, and of course Christmas. We have December. We have Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Okay, so all these events. So how would we actually prepare for these events? Typically, what I like to do is I like to prepare my events 15 days ahead of actually promoting the products. So, for example, if it was Christmas, then I would promote it 15 days prior to that actual month. So 15 days. So I would start like right around November 15th and start doing all of the Christmas stuff, so that by Christmas comes, I will have 15 days of data. Okay, at least 2 weeks of data, so that I can go in there, I can find out who my demographics are, and then scale it once it starts. What you want to do is you also want to take a look at your shipping times. If you cannot ship, if your shipping time is like 14 days, then you want to stop your ads 14 days prior to the actual event. Otherwise, people are going to get their shipments late, and they're not going to like it. They're going to hate you for it, and they're never ever going to come back to your store. Okay, so I'll give you guys this list. So I'm going to put this in the Slack group right here. Let me put it right here in the general Slack group. Okay, so we have this list of month-long observances, and then we also have this list of federal holidays. Okay. So how do we make money with this? A few ways actually. So one of the best ways that I've seen making money with this is either with jewelry, okay, or print on demand, meaning t-shirts, hoodies, and all this other stuff. So for example, if we go to, let's say we go to November, okay, or let's say we go to Christmas, okay, Christmas. If we go on AliExpress, we're gonna find a whole bunch of stuff related to Christmas products and everything else like that. Print on demand. We'll probably do another session strictly on print on demand, and I'll create a print on demand store and show you guys how to do it. But print on demand, there's a bunch of places out there that you can use for print on demand. Different apps out there that you can use for T-shirts and things like that, such as Printful, T-Launch, and all these other T-shirt companies. We also actually do this ourselves as well inside of the mastermind. We have that T-shirt form that you guys can fill out. But Christmas, how would we go about doing this? All right, so let's go in and let's type in Christmas shirts. Okay, and all we're going to do is we're going to click on the shopping, and we can find some ideas for Christmas shirts. Now, you don't have to necessarily copy the entire product itself, but what you can do is, what I've seen done best is that you take the quotes. Okay, so basically you take the quotes here and you put it into your own actual designs. Okay, either you have a designer for that or you create them yourselves. Something like this. Let's get Blitzend. Okay, there's another one right here. Williams Family Christmas, and you have all these different quotes that you can use for these Christmas designs. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be Christmas. It could be any of these month-long awareness. Okay, so for example, National Diabetes Month. So we can go in here and we can type in diabetes shirts. Okay, and we can find all of these diabetes shirts that you can be promoting, and taking those quotes and putting it into your own design, your own unique design. I've actually done really, really well doing this. Doing campaigns where I just took the quote, put it into my own design. I had my designer create it for me, and then they put their own design into it, and it just scaled. It just scaled really, really fast. Okay, people actually loved it, and this works really well. So let me see here if we have any questions so far. Bobby says, okay, sent to customers. Okay, Nate says, how do you do creatives of the print-on-demand shirts in such case for awareness months? So what I typically do is I have my designers put them in a Dropbox. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like. So I have my designers put them in a Dropbox, and it looks kind of like this. Let me see if I can pull one up. Let me pull up an old one. Okay. Oh, here's a cool one here. So I have them put it into this Dropbox design. Okay, and then it looks kind of like this. Right? Check this out. Let me pull it up here. Nate says you use Placeit. You can use Placeit. What I usually do is I have my designers get mock-ups. Okay, these things called mock-ups. So you can type in T-shirt mock-ups and have them go through, like, for example, there's a bunch right here. There's a bunch right here as well that you can use, but then it looks something like this, right? This guy loves someone who has diabetes to the moon and back, to infinity and beyond, right? So something like this. So if we were to type this in, this guy loves someone who has diabetes to the moon and back. If we were to type something in like this, basically the quote has been out there for a long time. Like, everyone's been using that same quote, right? Well, a lot of people have been using that same quote, but a similar quote, right? So the design really resonates with that crowd. The quote actually really resonates with that crowd. But how you make it different is you have a designer create something that's freaking awesome, that looks great, in which people actually want that particular design. The quote itself is what sells the shirt, but the design itself supplements that to helping you scale, because people are like, oh yeah, I already have this shirt, but I don't have this particular design, and I like this particular design a lot better than the shirt that I have right now. And so that they would buy it as well. So in order to find out what's working, of course, you go back and do the Facebook research, and you type in something like, I need this, or I need this shirt, I want this shirt, whatever it is, and then you find that quote, you find the page engagement, the pages posts that has the highest engagement, likes, shares, comments, and people saying, I want this, I need this, I need this, I want this. And then you see the message. You take that message, you put it in a new design, you redesign it, and then you launch it again. And to your surprise, it's actually going to do very, very well. Okay. There was actually a shirt that I did. It did over $500,000 in sales, and it's still doing really well. Okay. So that just shows you that the actual quote itself is really what sells the designs, but you want to redo the images, like the graphics and everything else like that. There's actually a way to do this. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Now here's kind of like I would call this a poor man's way of doing this. But basically you go to this place called Canva. Okay, so sign in with Facebook. Let me go ahead and sign in. All right, and here's basically what you would do. You would go in and then you would do something like a social graphic, and let's say we're going to use this exact like diabetes image here, right? So we're going to go into the text here, and then we're gonna type this in. We're going to copy that, and what you can do is you can do something like this, right? There's a bunch of different text designs that you can use here. As a matter of fact, I think Envato, I'm not sure if that's what it's called, t-shirt font designs. There's a bunch of them out there. If you type in like t-shirt font designs on Google, you'll find a bunch of these designs that you can use that looks really awesome. There's actually a website, I think it's called Envato or something like that, where you can, I'll have to ask one of my designers, but she had me sign up for it for her. But there was like over 45,000 different types of fonts that you can use for these designs, such as some fonts like this, right? Imagine you have this on a shirt. Look how awesome that would be. If you click on this, let's see what happens here. But imagine if you had some sort of like font like this or something like that that you can use to put on your shirt. That would look amazing, right, on a shirt if you had something like this and you just design it real quick. But here's basically an easy way to create that, to create some sort of text on a shirt. So let's go ahead and find something here. Let's do this one here, okay? And let's go, this guy loves someone who has diabetes, okay? Who has diabetes, and then we're going to say to the moon and back. Okay, literally like this. Like it took me like, a few seconds to do this. But you can definitely do something like this, and then increase the size here to however way you want. Let's see if we can do this right here. Actually, not very good at this. Let's just do this. Okay, and then what you would do is you would get like some sort of like royalty-free image. You don't want to just download any random image. You want to actually have, like, if you're gonna sell a lot of this shirt, you want to make sure that the image that you're using is actually allowed, right? You don't want to just go out there and steal images. You want to make sure that the images are allowed. So let's say we type in diabetes. Okay, there's a whole bunch of these images that you can use, but you just have to be a little bit creative with that. Like for this image here, I had my designer, get her own design for this moon and rocket ship here, and people actually loved it. So that's one way of doing that. Let me see, any other questions so far in terms of that design, t-shirt designs? Okay, Bobby says, would this be a general niche? And so it would not really be a general niche. It would actually be within the niches of where you're doing like these holidays here. So you can either do, but in terms of making a lot of sales from these holidays and these awareness months, I've seen that t-shirts do really well, and also jewelry and other things do really, really well for these awareness months as well, that you can find on AliExpress. So for example, there was a student that was doing some sort of awareness. He found the bracelet, and he's absolutely like crushing it with one of these bracelets for like a certain month awareness, and it was like, for example, you can go out there and you can find on AliExpress, um, like autism, right? Autism was actually one of the bigger ones as well. So autism, you can go in here into AliExpress, and then you can find something like autism, and these are really passionate niches that people are really into. Okay, so if you type in autism, click on orders, you can find, okay, so of course a lot of these fidget spinners are like the craze right now, but let's say we want to find something for like autism bracelet. Okay, autism bracelet, and we can see that there are a bunch of these autism bracelets that you can sell as like, free plus shipping. And then once you build up that list, you can take that list and then you can upsell them shirts like this. Okay, because these are all people who are actually in that niche. They love autism. I mean, they're into it. They know someone who has it. They're basically going into this niche. They want to buy products for this niche. Okay, let's see here. We have some questions here. So Nate says, to avoid doing a new store, do you think to test on viral style first for each niche test? So you can do that, but the reason why I choose a store for this is because I want to build the pixels for that store, right? Or T-Chip. You can do any of these like T-Chip or what are these other viral styles, right? You can do all these stores here, but what you want to do is you want to build up that pixel. Do you suggest jewelry on print on demand? So not really jewelry on print on demand. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. But you can use jewelry to build up your pixels so that you can use print on demand to upsell them for increased margins there. Brock says audio breaking up. Can you guys hear me okay? Put it on the box if everything's still okay. So Bobby says, so essentially create a new store. Yes, create a new store. Deshaun says, which has worked better for you, Facebook, posting the shirt on a white background or on a mock-up? So I always do a mock-up. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Okay, so I always do a mock-up. I do a mock-up like this, or here's another one right here. Okay, so here's something that did not work as well. Let me show you. I don't know why, but it just didn't work as well. It might have been because it kind of blended in with Facebook, because you know how Facebook has a white background, and when you're scrolling through your phone, you have that white background. But this one here did not do as well as something like the previous one that I showed you here. Okay, this one here didn't do as well compared to this. Probably because of the white background. So that might have been one thing that stopped the scaling of that ad. So after the month of awareness, should the store be kept open? You definitely can. Or what you can do is you can do what some of these other guys have been doing, is that they create kind of like an awareness store. That would work, but you want something that can be evergreen. I mean, autism, right? That's pretty much evergreen. But in your ad copy, you're gathering a lot of data in 1 month alone. Okay, in 1 month alone. Can you guys agree with me? Who agrees with me? In 1 month, you can gather all of your data for the entire year. Put a 5 in the box if you actually agree with me on that. In 1 month alone, if you build up your store for that awareness, for example, autism or diabetes, right? For November, in 1 month alone, you can gather your data for the entire year. Put a 5 in the box if you agree. Jimmy says 5. Nate says 5. Mercedes 5. Yeah. So exactly, it works that way, because what you're doing there is, let's say you gather 1,000 buyers, right? In just 1 month, you find this one niche that does really, really well, and because it's that month, people are aware of it. Kind of like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, people are aware of it. But there's also more competition on that, because everyone in the U.S. is basically trying to target on Facebook for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Same thing for Christmas. But how many people are actually going out there and really, really passionate about diabetes month? Okay, think about it. How many people in a whole spectrum of things, how many people are actually like going out there and like, oh yeah, it is diabetes month, I'm going to start promoting this product? There's not a lot of competition in those markets, right? Not a lot of competition in markets such as, let's kind of see like some sort of like a weird holiday. Epilepsy, right? there's not a lot of competition in that. Or adoption, not a lot of competition in that. So if you build up your pixels for adoption or epilepsy, okay, I mean, or diabetes, right? What's the time frame of someone having diabetes? Probably, depending on if they're able to get off it, or diabetes. A lot of people have diabetes. If we take a look at the statistics, diabetes statistics, we see here the number of diabetes indicate that 84.1 million adults have prediabetes, including 23 million adults that have diabetes, right? So a lot of people have this diabetes. So if you're to think about it, like 84 million people, if only 1% of that, or even 0.01% of that, were actually your buyers, could you build a list out of that? Yes, of course you can. You can build a big list out of it. You'd be surprised. I have friends who have built stores and who have built multi-million-dollar stores just on a specific niche. How do I know? Because I also have one. I also have a store on a specific niche. Okay, and it's basically targeting these people who are passionate about specific niches. All right, so let's go ahead and see any questions here. Okay, so we have some questions here. Nate says they can fire pixels on those landing pages for testing purposes. Yes, so if you can fire pixels on those landing pages, then go for it. But can you sell the T-chip? Can you sell your viral style store? No, you can't, right? So might as well do everything right the first time. And you'll thank me later on once you do everything right the first time, because you're going to say, oh, Teo, I followed your instructions and I did this and now I'm on the right path. I'm not against viral style or T-chip or anything like that. It's great, but you as my student, you should already know that you should be building your asset inside of the Shopify platform. You shouldn't be building other people's assets inside of T-chip or viral style, because later on you can't sell that at all, right? And investors, they want to see at least 6 months of revenues before you can sell a store. So those of you that are watching, those of you that are that have stores that are making 100K, 200K a month, you need at least 6 months of revenue in order to be able to sell your store to an investor. David says, can such print on demand be promoted well on fan pages? Of course, yeah. Take a look at this, David. I work with basically one of the biggest suppliers of ink in the U.S. Okay, and just to give you some insights. Okay, this stays here in the mastermind. Just to give you some insights, some of those clients, they're doing 30 to 40,000 T-shirt prints per day. Okay, and these are actual just websites. And of course, it took them years to get there. But these are websites doing 30 to 40,000 T-shirt prints per day. You go on YouTube, type in Bella and Canvas, and then watch this video of a company in California that prints 14 to 15,000 shirts per day. Okay, 14, 15,000 shirts. So 14,000 shirts, multiply that by, let's say, $20 a shirt. That's $280,000 per day in revenue. Okay, multiply that by 365. You have here, how many zeros is that? $102 million in revenue per year, just on T-shirts for one company alone. And I'm going to give you some insights in this business, in this apparel business. It's huge. Okay, it's ginormous. Multiple companies are doing this. I know a company up in New Jersey. They're printing 5,000 to 6,000 shirts per day and sending them out per day. 5,000 to 6,000 shirts per day. There's this warehouse up in Elizabeth, New Jersey. It's huge, and that's just one company. Okay, in the U.S., the number 2 selling industry is actually clothing. Number 1 is actually entertainment and like movies and all that other stuff. But number 2 is clothing. Okay, how many people actually wear clothes? Everyone, right? And so that's where the market is. Uka says, is it creating a new store specifically on autism, diabetes, etc.? Yes, it is, Uka. Jimmy, okay. Nate says, gotcha. So try a Flex store first for testing purposes. You can try a Flex store, and then you can kind of figure out where you want to take that direction for that store. Nate says, yes, for selling 100%. Okay, perfect. Bobby says, Teo, do you know when your niche is really a profitable? How do you know when your niche is a profitable one? when you find when you find a product like this that sells really well, then you're going to know it's a profitable niche, right? Nate says, can you later share the ninja techniques like we mentioned in the beginning? PPE, $1 a day off angles, things like that, what we can test. So yeah, I'll go over the types of things that we can test here. I've done the $1 ad sets. I actually did not do them for PPE. I did them for website conversion, and it worked really well as well. I did get really good ROAS on that. Bobby says, I've been doing the free plus ship for 3 months and have hit a wall. Okay. So should I convert my niche to t-shirt products? So not necessarily saying that you should convert it 100% to t-shirt products. What I'm really saying here is that, I mean, if you have a niche that you can create a design or you can find a quote and put it on a shirt, then yeah, go for it. Definitely go for it. Especially if you have the pixels, right? This product that I had here, I've actually had a few students do this, but they started with the product initially. They built up their pixels, and then they added t-shirt upsells to that free plus shipping offer, for example. And they found out the best types of shirts that were selling on that upsell, and then they took that shirt and put it into their Facebook ad, into their Facebook page. What you can also do is you can do this. Here's also another way of doing this. Now this will only work if you're doing like massive scale, right? So you can do this. Actually, yeah. So we'll go ahead and remove this. So this will work if you're doing this. So what you can do is you have your Facebook page, right? And so this will work only if you have a large audience. So what I've done is I've done this, 5 posts per day. Okay, anywhere between 1 to 5 posts per day. Usually around 5 posts per day. And then number 2 is every 1 to 2 posts, launch a new design. Okay, and then number 3, gauge after 3 days which designs are working or actually are getting best engagement. Okay, this will only work if you have a large Facebook fan page with a lot of likes. So if you're to go in there and do 1 to 5 posts per day, basically what's going to happen there is you're going to get organic views over time. Okay, so and then each post, so you do 1 post is a regular post, like regular engagement post. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's something that you shared, and then the next post would be a design, like a t-shirt design. And then the next post after that would be a regular engagement post. And then the post after that would be another design. So after 3 days, you're going to find out which one of those designs have actually gotten you the best engagements, the best organic reach. You take that post, the post that has the best organic reach, what you do is you create another post, and then you basically focus that post on promoting that product, that one product that you have. Okay, this has worked really, really well, but it only works if you have a big page with likes. Now, how do we actually get there? Let me see if I can pull something up here. All right, so how do we actually get to that stage there? Let me see if I have. Okay, Nate says, how many minimum print-on-demand designs do you need if it works? You're going to need a lot, right? Some of my stores, I have over 700, 800 designs. Nate says, do you suggest political t-shirts since Facebook allows behavior targeting by political identity, for example, liberal versus conservative? You can do that. You can definitely do that. Or you can target angles as well. Angles work best. Now, if you're doing like, behavioral targeting, you only have so much behavior, so many of those. If you're doing different interest angles, it actually works really well that way as well. Peter says, previously you talked about the fan page growth technique. I think it was skipped. Can you talk about a little bit of it? Yes, I can. So basically, I mean, like this fishing store, right? It's really just a test store. But basically, this is how you would do it. You would find your post. Let me see here. For example, if we have all these likes and shares, what you need to be doing is you need to be inviting these people to like your page. Okay. Now, the reason why you do this is, let's say you have your post. Let me see if I can find that post here. Let me go to notifications. I'm going to try to find that fishing fishing lure that we have here. Wow, we have a lot of posts here. All right. Okay, so we have this fishing lure, right? Oops. Okay. Okay, Facebook is buggy right now. Okay, so we have this page right here. We have 5,000 likes, right? What are you doing to get these people to like your page? Now, all you have to do is just click on those likes and then invite people. So I have my worker. She does this every day, but I think she skipped a few. But all you do is you click invite, and that will invite this person to like your page. And so to grow your Facebook fan page, you have to, number one, keep posting on your wall, okay, on a regular basis. So one of the best ways of doing this is you find out what types of hours people are actually engaging with your post, whether it's at nighttime or daytime. For example, I have a recipe fan page, and for some reason, 12 o'clock Eastern time, everyone is liking stuff because they're on their phone, they're checking these new posts about food, and while they're having lunch, they're liking. So at 12 o'clock Eastern, how funny is that? 12 o'clock Eastern, everyone is liking these things that are for recipes, right? So it's kind of funny how that works, but it works that way. So if you're finding out that people are liking your post during certain times, like at night, for example, then you would post at night, right? You're not going to post all throughout the day. You're not going to post at 3 a.m. because no one's going to see that. But if you post when people are most engaging, then you're going to get really good results, and you're going to get a lot of people that actually share your posts, and then you're going to get a lot of these people that you can actually invite to your store to like your page, right? So once you do that, you click on all of these invites, and what's going to happen there is that you're going to grow your page, and you're also going to grow your page engagement. When you grow your page engagement, you can be doing all kinds of crazy things, such as creating those lookalikes, such as testing page engagements as an actual post, as an actual ad. Okay, like I showed you before, I had this one page engagement post that's spending $20 a day for like 100 somewhat days, and it spent $2,500 and made $35,000. Right? I mean, 14x ROAS. It was consistent as well. The key there was consistency. Let me actually show you that post here. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but let me see if I can pull it up here. All right, questions. Zishan says, what if we just do back-to-back designs? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, Zishan, back-to-back designs meaning posting after each post. What's going to happen there is you're going to lose your customers. Okay, just like kind of like Instagram. It's some almost very similar concept with Facebook. Because what's going to happen there is that you're going to get a lot of people that they're going to see this page and it's going to be all ads. They don't like that. You want to have some sort of engagement on there as well, not just all ads. Okay, let me see if I can pull up one of these. So I have this one ad here, and it's been running. It's been like I don't even take a look at it anymore, but it's been running for I don't know how long. Okay, and then these are the results right here. And the key here is consistency, right? You want consistency. So it's been running since June. It's a page engagement. So let me pull it up right here. Okay, sometimes I don't even look at some of my ads just because we have so many running. But this one right here is an example of one that I posted back in June. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, here it is. Okay, can you guys see that? Per purchase is $2.99. Reached 297,000 people. Spent $2,500, and website purchases were at $35,000. Let me actually grab the ROAS here. Let me grab all this here. Okay, so the ROAS is actually at 13.93% ROAS here. Put a boom in the chat box if you guys think that's cool. Okay, here it is. Brandon says boom. Mercedes, Ali, Bobby. Okay, perfect. So basically here's the rows. Network is unable to connect. But basically it's 13.9 rows, right? $14 consistently. And this is just one, all of this is just one page engagement. That's all it is. It's just page engagement. All right. Jimmy says, what was the name of that app that tracks the best time to post? I'm not sure. I just basically figure it out by just taking a look at the posts. I don't think I'm not sure if there's an app that does that. If there is, I would like to know as well. Let's see here. Okay, questions. So after the month of awareness, should the store be kept open? So yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, right? Diabetes, autism, that's an evergreen thing. You can build that up for the entire year. But the best time to build it up is, of course, during that month where everyone is aware of it. So diabetes, month of November, people are aware of it. They're like, yeah, I have diabetes and I like this shirt, or I know someone who has diabetes, I like this shirt, I want to buy it. I want to buy it for them, I want to buy it for myself. And so because people are aware in that awareness stage, building up your pixels are going to be a lot easier than, for example, if you were to start it up in June or if you to start up in July. Okay, that's basically the best practice for that, is to start it up when it's hot right now and build up your pixels from there. Nate says they can fire pixels. Oh yeah, so we went over that. Okay, questions. Okay, Bobby says, would this be attainable by doing a PPE to build a large audience? Okay, so here's why. Here's why I'm okay with PPE, but not all the time. Because what you want to do is if your PPE is kind of like what Jay is doing, right? He's built up his audience, he's built up those pixels. So when he does PPE, it does really, really well. When you're first starting with PPE, it's not going to do very well for you. More than likely, you're going to see that you're losing money on PPE versus actually making money on it because you don't have those matured pixels yet. So here's the thing with PPE that I don't like in the beginning stages. In the beginning stages, when you're building up your audience, you don't want to target the junk traffic. You don't want to go out there and just say, hey, I just want anyone who engages with my page. There's a bunch of people that will do that. What you want to do is you want to build up in the very beginning stages all website conversion traffic. And then later on you can take PPE into that, because your PPE, your page post engagement, you're just targeting those people that you've already have those purchasers, right? You're targeting all those people who have already purchased from you, or you create a lookalike for that and then you put them through a PPE. PPE is a lot cheaper. It's basically the same thing, the same audience as if you were to do basically conversions. What's going to happen there is with PPE, your CPM is actually a lot lower because your target objective is not sales. Your target objective is just getting it out there to as many people as possible, as cheap as possible, so that they can actually engage with your products. So it works really, really well that way. But if you don't have your pixels matured, it's not going to work very, very well. Okay, it's going to be a very difficult path for you to get to that point. Bobby says, what is the turnaround time for your designers? It depends on how busy they are, to be honest. We have a lot of designs that we do. Like I said, we do about, I don't know, I would say about 100 plus designs every 3 weeks or so. Alex says, late to the party, one question. One of the first videos you did was on fishing lures. Is a product like this still okay to do? Would this not be overly saturated because so many people have tried this already? Yeah, it's kind of funny, Alex. Like, the moment I launched that product, we had 50 other advertisers try to do that same thing. So I actually expected that. I actually expected that if I did a product launch here, I would expect that 100 people would actually try to that same product and do the same exact interest that I did, do the same exact ad copy, literally word for word, the same exact video, everything. So it was funny. So I didn't really expect it to scale. I didn't expect that one to scale. That was just a test product. Jimmy says, what was the name of the app? So I'm not sure about Yeah, so we answer that one right there. Okay. What's here? We have a lot of questions here coming in. Deshaun says, so you kept that $20 a day for 120 days. Yep, so I literally just did that. And then, of course, my other ads, those were the scaling ads. Oh, Brock says, Crowdfire will tell you the best time to post. Okay, perfect. So let's take a look here. Crowdfire. Let's see what this does. Crowdfire, grow your audience, build a brand. There was also another one that was free. I forgot what it's called. There was another app that was free out there. Let me see if I have it in my bookmarks here. Let me see if I can pull it up. There's an app that you can actually use for free, and it tells you exactly the best times to start posting. If I find it, I'll let you guys know. Yeah, I can't find it right now. I'll let you guys know once I find it. Peter says, so let's close this. Peter says, by the way, can I ask you for lookalike audiences also suggest to do the breakdown, meaning, when these works well on low budgets, is it a good idea to duplicate it to higher budget with the best age range or turn them without the best age range? So if you're doing lookalike audiences and you did the breakdowns, what you want to do is you want to have enough data to determine which age ranges are actually working. So like right here in my page engagement, let me see if I can break it down for you guys. Okay, so my page engagement right here. I found out that there were certain demographics, okay? There are certain demographics that were doing really well, and then there were basically demographics that did nothing at all. So let's go ahead and open it up. Okay, so for example, this one right here, the demographics that were doing really, really well, the ones that I would scale more than likely are basically anywhere between the 35 to 65 plus females, right? Because every time I spent money here, it's basically spits money back out. And so depending on what your stuff looks like, it might not look like this. This is more of like an audience that has already been broken down multiple times from literally over 300 plus ad sets to get to this point right here. But once you get to this point right here, basically all you're doing is you're breaking down this this niche into who those buyers are. For example, this one here was actually 25 to 65 plus female. Most of the time you're not going to see this. Most of the time you're going to see like different data. But the reason why you need to let it run for a long time, as you've seen here, $20 a day for like all those days right there, is because now we can see exactly. Okay, if I said to myself, hey, I have 10 sales here, but no sales here, and I didn't let it run for longer than that, I would be shooting myself in the foot because I would not have known about these ad sets here that were actually making sales, right? So you want to let it run for a long time. If it's going to take you 2 weeks to run it, run it for 2 weeks. If it's going to take you 3 months to run it for 3 months. Run it for however long you need to get that data. That's most important right here. Once you have this data, what you can do is you can take that exact data and scale it out. Let me see if I have an actual scaled out data for this one here. Like $1,000 a day budget or something like that. Let me see if I have one. See if I can pull it up. Actually, yes, I do. So I have one right here. So here's one for. Okay, let me see. My screen is way too small. Okay, here's one for $1,000 a day, and to give you an idea of what it's doing. Okay. Actually, let me get the numbers here as well. All right. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get these numbers here as well. Okay. All right, this one particular example is actually for a 1% lookalike that I did the $1,000 a day budget. What the heck? Okay, this one here is for the $1,000 a day budget. The same exact rule applies. You know, turn off ads, etc. Just like I taught you guys in the previous sessions. So I found out that there were some demographics. Where do you guys think are the biggest sellers right here? Where do you guys think is the biggest jump? Put it in the chat box. What do you guys think? Which demographics should I be targeting next after what I'm seeing here? Peter says 65 plus. Okay. Bobby says 55, 64. Okay. What do you guys think? If you were in my position right now, what would you be targeting? Or 55, 64? Okay. So kind of mixed reactions here. Okay, so this is what I would be doing, right? So the $1,000 a day budgets, I would take this right here, and I would go into and I would find the biggest jumps. So let's compare this right here. Okay, let me know if you guys can see my split screen here. Can you guys see the split screen? Oh shoot, I can't really. Yeah, there we go. Can you guys see the split screen? Okay, good. Peter says too small now. Okay, good. So this is what I would do. I see the big jumps, right? So the most obvious ones would be, so for example, let's say we have 25 to 34. 25 to 34, we have how many sales? 16 sales. So like right here. And then the one here for 35, 44, we have here roughly around like 30 sales. So like double this, right? Double that. And then we have here 45 to 54, we have like almost 300, like 200 something, right? So like right here, right? And then the next one would be 55, 64 would be another one right here, right? So a little bit less than that. Oops. So this one here is like obviously like right there. This one here is like right here. Okay, and then I would see the 65 plus female is like right around here, like about half. Okay, so where do you guys think I should be targeting next in terms of if I want to scale this thing fast, if I want to scale this thing hard? Obviously, these ones right here, right? So I would target. So let's say I create another ad set for this, or I create a new campaign. Typically, when you start to scale, you want to create yourself a new campaign and take that same exact ad set. For example, this one was a 1% lookalike for a customers list. I would take that same exact ad set and I would go ahead and put it into its own new campaign, its separate campaign. Have you guys been doing that? Put a 5 in the box if you guys have actually been doing that. You take your best ad sets and you put it into an entirely new campaign. Put a 5 in the box if you're doing it. Put a 2 in the box if you're not doing it right now. Peter says 5. Okay, good. You're doing it. Brock says 2. Okay, Jay says 5. Nate says 5. Mercedes says 5. Alex says 2. Okay, so those of you that are not doing this right now, you're missing out on a lot of conversions. Because what happens here is that for some reason, I have no idea why, but for some reason, when you take your campaign out of your ad set, your best campaigns out of your ad set, and put them into a brand new campaign, it just works a lot better that way. Your conversions and your ROAS just increase like crazy. Put a 3 in the box if that's actually the case. If you guys are seeing that your ROAS and everything is just increasing like crazy. Jimmy says 3. There you go. Boom, right? Mercedes says 3. Yeah. So it works that way, right? I don't know why. I don't know why, guys. But if you take it out of your ad set, put it into a separate campaign, it works phenomenal. So that's exactly what I did. I took this out of my campaign, out of this ad set. I put it into its own campaign, duplicated it, and it worked really good. So in this case right here, I would take this out of this campaign. I would go from, where was this? From the 45 to, Actually, I would just go 45 to 64. Now, why did I do that? Why did I stop at 65 plus female? Can you guys take a guess why? Even though we have 90 sales here. So Bobby says new ad and ad set. Yes, new ad and ad set. Alex says, I have a question below. Should I take this ad set out of the campaign you just described? Okay. Zishan says big jumps. So I'll answer your question there in a second here, Alex. Not as good as 45, 64. Okay, Zishan says big jumps. Okay, here's why I actually did that, right? Even though I have 50, 65 plus females here, what I want to do is I want to take the big jumps, and also I want to have the ROAS increase. The name of the game here is ROAS, right? So also the name of the game here is teaching Facebook what the big ROAS are. And so if you take out, let's say there were campaigns where I took out ROAS, even though it was profitable, ROAS of 2x, 3x. The reason why I took out those ROAS 2x, 3x was because I want the ROAS that are giving me big numbers. I don't want to water down my conversions. So over time, Facebook is going to start doing this thing where it's learning your bigger ROAS. Okay, it's learning that, okay, I only want 5x ROAS. I only want 10x ROAS. Only want 14x ROAS. If you're shutting off those campaigns that are not giving you those big ROAS, it's actually going to bring your bigger ROAS down. That makes sense. So for example, if you're getting a ROAS of 14x consistently, and you put into the mix of a ROAS that's doing 3x, even though that 3x ROAS is doing really well, Facebook is going to start transferring traffic. And so that 14x ROAS is going to start watering it down. And so it's not going to know exactly who to send the traffic to. So you want Facebook to let them know that, okay, I want the traffic only on the 14x ROAS. Even though I have 4x ROAS, 3x ROAS, and it's still profitable, I want the traffic only to be on the 14x ROAS, because now Facebook's going to learn a lot better. It's the same concept of actually taking your best customers, your LTV customers, and let's say your customers that paid you over $100, putting that into a list of LTV customers. It's that same concept. Facebook's going to try to find those type of buyers for you. Does that make sense, guys? Put a 1 in the box if that actually makes sense. And I do apologize if I did miss out on a lot of your questions here. I will go back and go answer those questions. Okay. Bobby says 1, Alex says 1, Mercedes says 1. Zishan says, wouldn't that mean for this campaign you would only target 25 to 34? So yeah, you can do that. You can go out there and you can target 25 to 34, but you would put that in a separately new campaign. But take a look at this, 25 to 34 in the whole realm, in the whole spectrum of things. If I did put this in a new campaign, I guarantee you that these ROAS are actually going to go down. It's not as consistent as these ROAS right here, right? This is like a really consistent ROA right here, 45, 54, and I would do that. Now, another way of doing this is, there's 2 ways of doing this. You can scale with multiple bigger, with bigger, more quantity ad sets, or you can scale with just one big giant ad set. How would it work with some of you guys? It depends, right? So you test these 2 methods out. Let me show you what those are. So you do one with either lots and lots of big ad sets. So you have, let's say for this case right here, I'm going to do big ad sets, right? So I have $1,000 daily budget. So what I'm going to do is 25 to 34, 25 to 34, and then you can do 35 to 44. Okay, 35, 44, and then 45, 54, and then 55, 64, and then 65 plus. There's 2 ways of doing this. Method number 1 and method number 2. Now, method number 1 is you're going to put like big ads budgets on this one and separate new campaigns as well. You're going to do $200 here, $200 there, $200 here, $200 there, $200 here. Okay. Different campaigns. So you basically create a new campaign, new ad set, new ad, etc. You can do it this way, or you can do it this way. Let's say we found the best ones were like 45 to 64, right? And then you could do $1,000 budget right here in a new campaign, new ad set. Make sense, guys? So benefits of doing this one is you have more diversity. Benefits of doing this one, you're highly focused, super targeted on just one specific interest to get your ROAS up. Make sense, guys? Nay says, I have a new niche idea and wanted to test quickly. Idea was your suggestion. Add to existing store or make a quick dummy store. Make a quick dummy store. It costs you like 29 bucks, right? All you do is slap up a domain. Put up a you don't even have to slap up a domain sometimes. You can just actually do like myshopify.com and then just test it out. Peter says, this LLA is made from a purchased email list, and you made the LLA with this new LTV. This LLA is made from a purchased email list. Yeah, so it's made from a purchased email list, and you made the LLA using this LTV version LLA. Yes, so I did go ahead and, well, I didn't go for LTV. I just went for everyone who purchased. So that particular one is everyone who just purchased. All right. Okay. So is this clear so far? Let me go back to the questions that I did miss here. We had a question from. Let's see. So question from Alex. I had a successful ad set at $3 and duplicated this and increased it to $20 and amended the range for the highest conversion. Okay. You highlight that I need to let it run to optimize. What is odd about this is the $3 ad set had 20 add to carts and 6 sales. The $20 ad set now has 15 add to carts but no sales. It seems like I'm getting lower quality customers. Why do you think the conversion is so much lower from the add to cart? Because basically it's a different algorithm, right? When you're doing different budgets, it's a different algorithm. This applies to the budget scaling method that I showed you guys. So you have, for example, $5 a day, you have $10, you have 15, you have 20, you have 25, you have 30, you have 35. So this applies to this because you have each and every single one of these budgets, ad sets, are different algorithms. They're going to perform differently. Okay, your $5 a day budget, you might get 2x ROAS. Your 15, you might get 3x. Your 20, you might get 1x. Your 25, you might get 0. Your 30, you might get 3x. Your 35 might surprisingly give you a 5x. And your 10x might give you 1x. So obviously, which one would you scale? This one right here. Okay, this is the same kind of rule that applies for the day parting. That's why you have 3 of the same ads, but they're all performing differently, is because Facebook's randomness effect. And that's why you want to test out all these different budgets. That's why the name of the game here is all about testing. Okay, just like even Jay mentioned, he tested all these different PPEs, like you saw in the chat earlier today, and he did all these different tests. It's all about testing. There's no secret to making Facebook ads work. It's just about testing. You remove the ones that are not doing well. You keep the ones that are doing absolutely insanely well. Because what's going to happen here is if you keep nitpicking the ones that are doing insanely well, what's going to happen is you're going to see results just like what Jay has done, right? I mean, you take a look at this. Like, here's a screenshot in the general chat. You take a look at this, like insane ROAS, right? When you're nitpicking these insane ROAS and you just want these insane ROAS, Facebook will actually give that to you. But it takes time for you to get there. When you're nitpicking all these little things, they're gonna eventually tell you, okay, now I know who your buyers are. This is exactly the type of traffic that I'm gonna send to you, and I'm only gonna send to you these people here. Okay, so that's the whole point of seasoning your pixels, is nitpicking so that you can get to the best results. And that's also the reason why I would not, even in my scaling, I wouldn't do any of these that have 13x, 2x, 3x, 1x. I would only do the ones that have 4x and above. So as a matter of fact, I would actually do 65 plus as well. I would do from 45 to 65 plus and scale that sucker up, okay? Basically get this thing going, this one here going. And even the ones with the 3x, the 2x, I don't want the 3x. I don't want the 2x. I just want the 4x. I want the 5x. Give me the 10x. Okay? Don't give me the 2x traffic. Even though it's profitable, I want you to give me the 4x traffic. I want you to give me the 5x traffic, the 10x, the 13x. Okay? Is that making sense so far, guys? I hope that's the mentality that you got to get into Facebook as well. Some of you guys out there, you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm still making profit with this. It's still good. No, not necessarily. You're still making profit, but you're preventing Facebook from giving you the best traffic. Okay, is that making sense? You're still getting the 2x ROAS, but you're preventing Facebook from actually like saying, hey, these are not your ideal traffic sources. You want a higher conversion rate. You want people to come to your store and buy all the time. This is the traffic that you want. You want to remove all the all the smaller stuff and focus only on the bigger big jumps. Let's see here. Questions. Peter says, okay, Peter, how big was the list? How big was the LLA list? I think this was like 18,000 purchases or something like that. Alex says, should I ladder up the budgets in increments of $5 then? So yeah, you can definitely do that, Alex. You're basically in stage one. So going back to the different types of stages of Facebook ads, right? This is where, I would say about good 80% of you guys are on stage one. So stage one is basically when you're still on the interest stage. You're still doing a lot of interests. Okay, stage two is when you start getting into lookalike audiences. Okay, and then stage three is when you have so many lookalike audiences and so many pixels, kind of like what Jay is doing or Mercedes, okay, or Ray or any like Brandon, all these guys. Basically, stage three is when you have so many lookalike pixels that everything starts to look good, right? You get to the stage right here, and you can launch any type of ad, and it's going to look good, just because of, and then you scale lookalike scales. So this stage right here is anywhere between 1K. Actually, this one here is from 1K to 5K, and this one here is anywhere between 5K a day to 10K a day, and this one right here is anywhere from $100 to $500 a day. Okay, so if you're at this stage, $100, $500 a day, you're still on stage one. So you're still building up your interest so that you can get to your lookalikes. Later on, how many of you guys out there, those of you that are doing over $1,000 a day, how many of you guys are still doing interests? Put a 1 in the box if you're still doing interests. Put a 2 in the box if you're only doing lookalike audiences. Let me see. There's only a few of you guys that are actually doing that. Okay, yeah, Mercedes says now is 2, right? Those of you guys that are doing $1,000 days, you're going to see you're not going to even do interest anymore. You're going to get away from interest. Like I literally have, like some of my stores, I literally have not touched an interest in like over a year. It's all lookalikes, right? Every single one of them is just lookalikes. So once you get to this stage right here, when you create lookalikes, everything's going to look good. You're going to create lookalikes for your purchases, for your email list, for your view contents, your add to carts, because all that stuff, even the lookalikes, is still building up all of those page engagements, and also the pixels on all those metrics. Nate says, I am confused with choices, a little bit on what to test. Any suggestions? So it all depends. There's like a number of factors to that, Nate. All right. Let's see here. So Peter says interests and lookalikes. So Peter, eventually you want to get just into lookalikes. Okay, the interests that are still giving you sales, that's good and all, but you want to get into the bigger ROAS, the higher ROAS. Jimmy says only lookalikes. Yeah, there you go, Jimmy, right? I think in the beginning stages you were testing all these different interests. Now that you're at that $1,000 a day, how much are you at right now so far, Jimmy? Are you at like past the $2,000 a day? So I think you're almost getting there. But once you get to that $1,000 a day mark, you're only going to be doing lookalikes. Everything else is not going to matter because interest is just very temporary. Okay, all those interests, temporary stuff. Let's say you have a 500,000 reach. Okay, you can only get so far with that, and until you start doing multiple frequencies of that same reach. With when you get past that, it's all lookalikes because lookalikes always change. It's always dynamic. Oh, Jimmy says 1K per day. Okay, so you're at 1K a day. Let's get you up to 5K a day there, Jimmy. Brock says, do you need to reset your lookalikes after a certain time? No, they reset automatically. It's all dynamic. Say you go from 400 to 1,000 purchases. So yeah, your purchase pixels are all dynamic there, Brock. Okay. Alex says, when you run a conversion ad and you start getting 50 sales per week, it optimizes for purchases. You highlight the importance of seasoning your pixel to find your buyers. So is there a conflict here? If I have a fishing store, but I managed to get an ad optimized for jewelry, wouldn't the optimization within the ad be enough on its own? Okay, so you get 50 sales a week. Okay, it starts optimizing for purchases, and basically you highlight the importance. So, I mean, highlighting the importance of seasoning your pixels. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by a conflict. So I'm not really sure what you mean by that there, Alex. If there's a conflict in seasoning your pixels. Okay, Zishan says, what if you're not doing $100 a day, $500 a day, but have the 1,000 plus purchase pixels? Okay, good question. So you have 1,000 purchase pixels. Okay, now this is what I would do if I were you in your shoes, Zishan. We have a couple of students who are on this boat as well. They have they have a niche, okay, and their niche they basically saturated their market. Okay, no one else is buying this product anymore because everyone already has it. So let's say you have 1,000 purchase pixels, right? What you would do is you would find out first how many page engagements you have. Okay, this is the first thing that I would do. Find out how many page engagements you have. Find out how many view contents that you have. Initiate checkouts and add the carts. Now these are what you should be looking at, not just your 1,000 purchase pixels. This right here is your gold. Okay, this is your gold. Like stamp this on the back of your head, tattoo this on your chest. This is your gold right here. Okay, 1,000 your purchase pixels, your page engagements, view content, initiate checkout, and add the carts. This is what's going to make you money. So if you have 1,000 pixels but you're not doing $100, $500 a day, what you do is you find another product. Okay, you launch these pixels here. So for example, like I've shown in the previous, I think a few weeks ago, I've shown that this right here, well, not that one, but this right here, this is a brand new product. Okay, even though let's say I saturated a certain product and no one is buying that product because everyone already has that product already, then I launch a new product, a $20 a day page engagement ad for that product. And this particular one, I think it has over like 700,000 page engagers. So my reach is 700,000 people. And these are all people who have engaged with that brand, with that audience, with that store. Okay, so what you do is you take that and you launch a $20 ad and see if it works. Okay, you launch one product, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have an opportunity here to launch so many different products. And what I would recommend here at this point is start with a page engagement ad at $20 a day. Because this right here, this page engagement ad is an umbrella for everything that you're doing here. It's basically an umbrella for this. Okay, actually let me do this. It's basically, you're basically feeding this, you're feeding this, okay? You're feeding everything that you're doing is feeding into this page engagement. Okay, so that's why you launched that $20 ad from that. Okay, so that's basically how that works. It's all feeding through this. All right, makes sense so far? Okay. So Nate says, Teo, my kind of running around with many new strategies. Should I do $1 a day website conversion or a PPE test, do you think? I can create master template campaigns with lookalikes for a new product. Do you think is okay? For a new product, it's very simple here. For a new product, okay, just like I showed you in the last like 2 minutes here, just send them to a $20 page engagement. I've been doing this and it's been working really well. I mean, what you're doing here is you're sending them to a page. You can either do a PPE or you could do website conversion. Now, if you're here's the only thing about PPE. If you have, let's say, 100,000 people, and let's say 80% of these people are buyers, okay, then if you run a PPE, then of course you're going to get a lot of buyers, right? Because 80% of them are buyers. But let's say we scratch that here. Okay, let's say instead of like 80%, basically you're at 20% of your PPE people are buyers. Now, if you run PPE, what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Are you going to get a lot of sales? You're going to get 20% of a lot of sales. You're not going to get that 80%, right? So this is why In the beginning stages, I'm telling you, it's very important to launch your ads for website conversions only so you can gather all of the good traffic. Okay, you're gathering all this buyer traffic. And then afterwards, let me just shut off my Slack here. So yeah, you guys can hit me up after this webinar. But afterwards, when you have that page engagement and you have a lot of junk traffic to it because you're just kind of sending a lot of traffic to it, it's not going to be as good as someone who has a page engagement list of 100,000 people that have 80% buyers, right? So you want to be careful with the PPE. It's not going to work for everyone. So you might be seeing some students that are doing really, really well with this. It might work with you, it might not work with you. Like I said, Facebook is kind of like you got to be like a 10-year chef, right? The 1-year chef knows some things, they know how to cook, but a 10-year chef, they know a lot more in the kitchen, and they've experienced this before. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. That's what I really want you guys to understand, is that because you're seeing some students doing really well with a certain product or a certain testing, it's not always going to work well with you. You have to test. Like Jay said, the $1,000 a day ad set did not work for him, but for a lot of this other students, it's working really well for them, right? It's made them their first big jump. It's made them their first $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 days. But for some of you, it might not work. Like Jay has great pixels, but it seems like his pixels are working a lot better for PPE. So the name of the game here is test, 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 test. If you need to test out 10,000 different ads, test out 10,000 different ads, right? You're increasing your chances of success by 10,000 times. I have a friend, he's a multimillionaire in liquid assets, right? And like cash, like actual cash, like he just saved up all his money in cash. But he had a mentor, and his mentor told him that in order for you to get success, you don't just launch 1 or 2 ads and hope and pray that it works. You just don't launch. This is why my rule works really well for a lot of you guys. You launch 10 ads at a time. You launch 20 ads. You launch 30, 40, 50, 60 different ads at a time and find out that you're multiplying your success by 40, 50, 60 different times, right? So you don't just do small little things and expect big results. You got to do big things and expect big results, right? So the same thing here. But if you're launching a new product, one of the best ways that I've done is that I've done a $20 PPE, $20 not PPE, $20 page engagement ad with the objective of website conversion. Now, if let's say if you did everything correctly and your page engagement, you have 100,000 page engagement, and you know that 80% of them are all buyers, then yeah, of course I would launch a PPE ad, and I would launch for daily reach. Okay, optimizing for daily reach, not for conversions or not for sales, but for daily reach. Then of course, in essence, you're literally targeting the same people, right? Your ads are just basically reaching out the same people, but the objective is different. Facebook is just a machine. It's a very smart machine, but you have to know how to use that smart machine for your own benefit. Okay, let's see here. Alex says optimization of the store. Okay, you're gonna have to restructure that sentence. I'm not really sure. Okay, optimization of the store versus optimization of the ad set. They're all the same. I mean, it's not really the same, but you're basically it's not gonna affect how many ads you're doing or anything like that. Optimization of the store is just gonna affect your conversion rate, right? When people land on your store, out of 100 people, how many are actually gonna buy? That's all it is. Optimization of the ad set is basically out of how many people reached, how many people are actually going to, which one of those targets are actually working best is optimization of the ad set. Okay, so Alex says you can have a fishing store but sell bananas. So yeah, that's definitely not going to be good for your pixels, right? Because your pixels, like I said, Facebook is a machine. You teach the machine different things, that machine will go out there and try to get you different things. You want to be smart with that. You want to teach the machine, here's my buyers, here's the type of people I want you to target, here's what I want you to go out and get for me. Nate says, sorry Taylor, the $20 page engagement targeting, not PPE objective. No, so it's a website conversion objective. But like I mentioned here, Nate, if your page engagement list of let's say 100,000 consists of 80 to 90% buyers, then yeah, it would make sense for you to send out a PPE for daily reach and targeting engagements, right? Because Facebook is like the machine is reaching for people who are engaging. And so they know that your list of 100,000 people, almost all of them are engagers because 80% of them are buyers. Usually this is like a really far-fetched number, but that's not the case here, right? But usually if you go out there and you tell the machine, I want to launch an engagement ad for my 100,000 list and I want it for daily reach, then you're gonna spend a lot less targeting the same amount of people who are buyers and getting better results because it's cheaper traffic in essence, right? But if you don't have that, and let's say you have a list of 100,000 people, and let's say even 5% of them are buyers, then obviously you're not going to target engagements because only 5% of that 100,000 are actually buyers. So if you're targeting that 100,000 and you're going for engagements, you're going to have a bad day because Facebook is going to go out there and pick all those engagers for you, but people that don't buy. Is that making sense? Put a 5 in the box, guys, if this is making sense so far for you guys. If everything is clicking and you're understanding why we do the things we do here. Okay, Bobby says 5, Brandon says 5, Peter says 5, boom, boom. Okay, so Deshaun says, got it, thanks. You got it, Deshaun. Bobby says, as, I'm not sure what you mean. So, by that. Nate says, so new product test, $20 PPE, page engagement. So new product test, $20 page engagement first on custom audience, right? Yes. Then do lookalikes, 1 to 10% for the total page engagement. You can do the lookalikes, but only if you're scaling. So what I did here, like literally, like you guys can see, what I did here was I just launched this 20 bucks, and I launched multiple of these ads. I launched multiple products, right? Because I already have a big list of page engagers in a niche, and I have a lot of products. So I go out there, I launch these $20 ads, page engagements, and see which product is actually winning. And then like this one here, I literally launched this and I left it alone for 100 somewhat days, spent 2,500, made 35,000. I have a lot of these. It's not just one. I have like multiple of these, right? So I go out there and I launch these $20 ads, and I don't even have to think about it because these $20 ads, either they're going to make money for me or they're not. And the ones that don't make money, I turn them off. So I kind of do this. Like I taught you guys how to do the $10 ad sets. The 10 ad sets. So, initially it's like you create one ad set, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. up to 10, right? So in this instance of new products, and these are products that no one has on Facebook or it's not even mentioned anywhere, etc., etc. For new products, what I do is I go out and test $20 ads, okay, on each and every single one of them. Okay, same rule applies. 3 days, and these are all for page engagements. For 3 days, what happens is 3 days, I take a look at the ROAS. Let's say product 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets this one gets a 4x ROAS. This one's like 14x ROAS. This one's like 1x. This one's like 3x. This one's like 2x. So obviously, I'm going to remove this, remove that, and even based on my judgment, like whether or not I should remove this or not, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna do that or not. But I'm gonna keep this for a little bit, and definitely this one I'm gonna keep for a while, for a long time, and I'm gonna let it run just like what I did with this one. I'm gonna let it run for this one. I let it run for 100 days. Right, you guys can see that. So I'm gonna let it run for a long time and see what kind of results it's yielding, and I don't even touch it. I don't touch it, and I just let it get sales. And if it does do well, after a certain number of sales, like let's say 50 to 100 sales, then that's when I would go out there and I would start experimenting with lookalikes. I start experimenting with different scaling techniques, scaling budgets. I go to the $1,000 a day budgets. I go to the multiple $100 a day budgets on multiple add the carts, initiate checkouts, etc. And then I put the same product on bundles. I put the same product on upsells. Okay, so there's a lot of different things that you could be doing with this. All right, let's see here. Bobby says 1 product, 10 ad sets, 5 product, 50 ad sets. So you're gonna have to put it in the sentence there, Bobby, because there's a lot of questions that are coming in right now. Zishan says, for testing a new product out, how long do you run the $20 page engagement ad? So it depends on how. Okay, so I think I just answered that question there. About 3 days, and then I start removing those. And if the ad performs well, launch the 40 LLAs. Yeah, if the ad does well, Okay, send the cavalry, right? Send them all in. Nate says, not smart enough to understand completely. Sorry, LOL. That's fine, Nate. That's why you're here and you're here to learn. Excuse me. All right. Zisan says, or if we're not at the $100 day stage, should we stick to interest ad sets? Yeah, go ahead and stick to interest until you start building up those lookalikes. Okay. But the most important thing here that I can tell you out of all this, it's not about it's all about maturing the pixels based on where you want Facebook's direction to be. Okay. So when we talked about earlier today about the let me just close a lot of this off here. Let's go back to that here in a second. But what I talked about earlier, I talked about the awareness months and all this other stuff like the passionate niches and things like that. The reason why you're doing this is so that you can build that list of passion. Okay, it's all about that list of passion. A lot of the gadget stores and things like that, I mean, it works really well, but eventually you're going to see that it kind of dies off at a certain point. You're going to make a lot of money with that, but it really dies off at a certain point. And then you're going to want to find another product to go after that, right? You can make, don't get me wrong, you can make $500,000, you can't make $1 million with some of these products, but eventually it's going to go away. Like, for example, fidget spinners, right? People thought that this was hot. Now everyone has a fidget spinner. Kind of like back in the days, like a Tamagotchi. You guys remember that? Those little Tamagotchis that you would play around and feed them and like take care of them and stuff like that. It died off, right? Hatchimals, okay? Eventually it dies off. Eventually everyone has them. Like, you got to find a product, you got to find something that you can constantly launch and never have to worry about it dying off. An evergreen product, evergreen niches. Dental awareness. Can you create a store for dentists? Yes, you can. I know someone who basically created a store for a particular supply for dentists, for doctors, and what they did was they were really smart. They went out there and they started creating these different designs for this thing that people wear all the time, right? It's a clothing. It's not a T-shirt. It's not any of that. I'm not gonna say what it is, but basically, really big niche, and they were creating different designs for this type of thing that doctors and dentists and nurses all use. Okay, you can kind of guess what it is, but basically, just thinking outside the box, you got to find something that's like really evergreen. Alex says, do lookalike audiences. How many add to carts do I need to create a lookalike audience? I have about 120 visitors with 100 add to carts, but only 15 sales. How long should I wait to create a lookalike audience? Should I only do a lookalike on purchases, or can I do an add to cart? So a good way to really understand this part here is, remember those 3 stages? Okay, stage 1, stage 2. So here's basically my standard on this. You can take it or leave it, but basically stage 1 is $100 to $500 a day is where you want to be. Stage 2, once you've passed that stage, then you want to start doing lookalike audiences. So like a few sales here and there, it's not daily, right? You want to be at the daily mark. You want to be like $500 a day and let it run for 30 days. Anywhere between 15 to 30 days. Because if you launch your lookalikes prematurely, you're gonna have a bad time. I guarantee you. You're gonna come back and say, "Hey, it didn't work. Facebook doesn't work. It sucks." You know this. I don't want you to say that. I want you to come back and say, "Hey, Teo, I was patient enough and I let this thing run for 30 days. Now I have a big list, and now my lookalikes are doing really awesome." That's what you want to do. Okay. Those of you that are doing $1,000 days, how long did it take for you to get there? Put it in the box. Let's take a poll here. How many of you guys actually? Jimmy says 2 months. Okay, yeah, right about 2 months, right about there, 2-3 months. Peter says 7 months. Okay, so sometimes it might take longer for some of you guys, right? $1,000 day guys. How long did it take for you guys? Mercedes said 3 months. Yeah, so about anywhere between 2 to 3 months, you're gonna be at this stage, $100 to $500 a day, right? It's like this it happens all the time. You just gotta be a little patient. Right, you got to be patient. That's the name of the game, is be patient. Rome wasn't built in one day. You got to be patient. So let it run for a while. Okay. If you're and then usually 30 days, pretty much a good time for you to actually start doing lookalikes. But if you're just at the stage of you only have like 20 sales, you don't do lookalikes yet. You're actually going to be hurting yourself if you did lookalikes, because Facebook, the machine doesn't know where your buyers are yet. I mean, they might have a clue, but not really, right? Peter, at this stage, you will set the best age range from the previous winner. Yes, exactly. You're always breaking it down, or just 18 to 65 plus. So, do you mean with that $20 day stage? At this stage, yes, I would actually just go ahead and break it down based on these demographics. But this was actually already broken down because this was already my page engagement. Let me see if I can find another good example here. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can find another good example for you guys. All right, any other questions so far? Put it in the chat box. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Here's another ad set. Actually, that's not really a good one. Did I do this one yet? Yeah, I did that one already. Okay, here's a good one. Here's an ad set for just engagements. Okay. Here it is right here. Okay, this is actually a really good one. Okay, let me post this here. Here's one where I did page engagements, but I put this at $1,000 a day, and I did it for so far like 2 or 3 days. Okay, so this is a page engagement ad, and I was able to. I basically did everyone. Okay, males and females. Now, taking a look at this data, what do you guys think is the obvious scaling right here? What do you guys think here? Put it in the chat box. And then we have some questions here. Okay, so we have here 4564. Brock says 4564. Zisan says 4564. Okay, 45 to 64. Yep, exactly, right? So now, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I got the data a lot faster. It was like 3 days of data. It was definitely a lot faster. But then I found out where the scaling is, right? Where I can scale. Because if I only had 20 sales, let's say for example I did small budgets, and this is also another example of just diving in, guys. If I only had like $20 sales, and let's say all 20 sales were like right here, right? 35, 44 female, and it was lucky, and it wasn't. I didn't let it run for a long time. This is why you let it run for 30 days here, right? Alex, there, you let it run for 30 days, because where was this? Because if I didn't let it run for 30 days, or even if this one was like super hyper mode, but if I didn't let it run for that long, I'm not going to know the best data. As we can see here, it's kind of like the data is kind of like just going from most sales to like least amount of sales, right? But we can see here that the most sales came from 45 through 64. Now, if I launch this ad right here, do you guys think that I'm going to get really, really good results? If I did $1,000 a day ad set just on this, do you think the ROAS will actually be a lot higher? And do you think Facebook's machine will actually start taking all that data, pushing it to those people right there? What do you guys think? And then, do you think the ROAS are going to be higher? Put a 1 in the box if you guys think the ROAS are going to be higher. Put a 2 in the box if you guys think the ROAS are going to decrease. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the actual results here. Let's see if I can find it. There's a lot of ad sets here. Put a 1 in the box if you guys think the ROAS are going to go up. Put a 2 in the box if you think the ROAS are going to go down. see if I have it here. Engagements. Oops. Yeah, it's not letting me search for it because I have so many here. Okay. It's actually not the same. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I have like over 300 different ad sets here and campaigns. So I have another example here of one that I actually put it in a separate campaign. The ROAS actually for this one actually increased. But I want to see if I can find it. I can't really find it here. Alex says, what is the retail price of the product? It was roughly around like 30 bucks, 20, 30 bucks. But then I also had an AOV of like $44. Okay. Okay. Here's an example of an actual campaign that I took from the ad set level and put it in its own campaign. Okay, and this is also without, oops, shoot, I closed it here too early. Okay, and this is actually without, this is going broad. This is going like really, really broad. So this is that 1% purchase event that I took and I put it in its own campaign. As you can see, like the results are pretty much like evened out. But of course, once I find the data, what I do is I take this right here, this data right here, I put them in its new own separate campaign, and then I launch it just for the best ROAS. Like for example, I would create a new campaign just for this one. I would create a new campaign just for this one. New one for this one. Right? Separate campaigns, launch it separate different ads, and the ROAS will be a lot better that way. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see here. Alex says, when you go for retail, what price products do you see the best returns from, or does it depend on the product? It all depends on the product, Alex. It's not like the best prices. It's not like people are willing to buy $100 products if you show them the value of that $100 product. Peter says those 1,000 dollar budgets have 10 ads or auto bid. They're all 10 ads. Let me see how many ads I have on this one here. This one here, I actually have I have 6 ads. Okay, and this is what the ads look like. Let me grab this. So I have 6 ads on this, spread out over $1,000. Usually I would do 10, but I did 6 on this one here. And you can see these are all the same ads, right? Everything is the same ad. Network unavailable. Why? These are all the same ads, but the rows were all different because of Facebook's randomness. Let me see if I have hold up here. No. For some reason it's not uploading for some. Let me see, try it again. Okay, there it is. Okay. These are all the same ads, but different ROAS, right? This ad right here, for some reason, was doing exponentially well. So as you can see, it's not like some of you guys are going out there and you're saying, okay, I duplicated this from $3 to $20. The same everything is the same except for the budget. Why is it not working? It's because of Facebook's randomness. You test out your budgets. If your $30 a day budget is working, you let it run for a little bit more. You let it mature. If it's, and then you duplicate it to $220, all your ads run to crap. It's because of that randomness. Same thing here, right? We can see that if let's say I duplicated it and it was giving me 3x ROAS, but then I duplicated it again, and the next time around it gave me 4.65 ROAS. And you can see here, it's not like 1 or 2 sales. It's like consistent sales, right? 1,000 sales here, 400 sales there, 300 sales here. This one here obviously was the biggest winner for this, and everything was the same. It's the same ad, everything is all the same, except for that randomness effect. We can see here, this is a prime example of how Facebook chooses those algorithms. It's also reinforcing the fact that when you choose the ads that have the best ROAS, Facebook will send the traffic Facebook will send you the best traffic to those ROAS, because you're letting that machine learn. Okay, you're letting that machine learn the best ROAS, and of course, if you have a higher ROA, you're going to want to shut everything off, but just send traffic to that the highest ROAS, and that's where you're going to get these results like this. And then you keep breaking it down, filtering it down, right? Because if I were to stick with this, the $11.52, I would never have been able to find something like this, right? So it's all about testing. Go out there and see what's working inside of your ads. Alex says, can you, the people in the group who are crushing it, did they get their store successful with retail or free plus shipping? Some of you guys retail, some of you guys free plus shipping. Put in the box how many of you guys have actually started becoming successful from free plus shipping, and how many of you guys have actually started becoming successful with retail. I'm just curious here. Nate says, you mean you organize the best demographics from your scaling ads into separate campaigns and split test that? Yes, exactly. Peter says auto bid. This is all auto bid. Manual bid is when I start doing those $5,000 a day budgets. Let me see if I can pull up a manual bid here. Let me see, where's my $5,000 budget? Where is it here? Let's see if I can pull it up. It's in one of these campaigns. It's bound to be. All right. But basically, when I do manual bid, it's all in the $1,000 and up budgets. I'm not going to do it inside of the auto bids, because that'd just be crazy. But you can do auto bids. You're just going to have to create a lot more ads, right? Instead of 6 ads here, for example, if I did $2,000, I would create 12 ads. And why 6 ads exactly? I don't know. I just tested it. It could be 10 ads, it could be 5 ads, but basically $1,000 split up against 6 ads every single day. Okay, so some of you, so Brock says started from free plus shipping. Jay says all retail. Jimmy says free plus shipping to build Pixel and then retail for profit. Okay, good. Brandon says originally free plus shipping, but now doing retail. Yeah, good. So once you build and then Bobby says free plus shipping. Yeah, once you build those pixels for free plus shipping, you want to go into retail, because obviously retail has the highest margins. All of this right here, this is all retail product. Zishan says, started out doing free plus shipping, but moving on to retail. Perfect. Okay. So the reason why I chose free plus shipping and I was training you guys on free plus shipping first is because it's a lot easier to get into free plus shipping. How many of you guys agree? How many of you guys have tried both? And how many of you guys have actually seen faster results from free plus shipping? Put it on the box if you have. Like, you've tried free plus shipping, you tried retail, and free plus shipping was obviously the biggest winner. Obviously, like, the fastest way to get results. Yeah, so see, Brock says 1. Okay, who else? Who else has tried free plus shipping? Nate says hard to find winning retail after I did free plus shipping fires. So in that case, Nate, you just got to keep testing it. Okay, so Bobby says 1, right? Yeah, it's easier, a lot easier to go into free plus shipping, because it's obviously a lot easier to sell a $0 product for free than a $20 product. A lot more people are able to do that, right? All right, guys. So we're running out of time here, but any other questions so far, guys, in terms of all this? And I understand we went a little bit over this, but any questions so far in terms of awareness months, federal holidays, okay, things to look for. So what I do is I take a calendar, and I have like just in my notebook like a calendar of months, um, from December to December, okay, and then basically I take a look at the calendar and I say, okay, next month I'm going to launch a store for, let's say, I don't know, Thanksgiving. The next month I'm going to launch a store for, let's say, let's take a look here, for, I don't know, youth art movement, something like that. Or I'm going to test it out. But I want to find something that has a lot of people in it. For example, Parkinson's disease, right? Another good one could be, let me see here, mental health awareness, okay? ALS, okay, you can have ALS shirts all day long. You can do LGBT, okay? You can do National Home Ownership Month. There you go. You can probably sell a bunch of home stuff. There's actually this website here called House, and you can actually become an affiliate with this if you have home designs and things like that, and like home products. You can actually go in here and actually sell on House. It's kind of like an Etsy for home products, and this works really well if you're doing like high ticket items like tables and chairs and all kinds of stuff. Something to look into. We're not going to get too far into that right now. Okay, you can do stuff like, National Preparedness Month. Okay, preparedness, survival, breast cancer awareness. Okay, that's a big one right there. And all these different types of things here that you can do. But it's basically all breaks down into just a passion. When you have that passion, people are willing to pay money for it, right? And that's where all of this comes into play. All right, let's see. Questions. Okay, Alex has another question here. Nobody ever buys from me between 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. New York time. You talk about switching off the ads when they were not working. Will this mess up the algorithm? No, it will not. You just turn them off. Bobby says, product finding biggest challenge. So if product finding is the biggest challenge, just keep at it, right? Nate says, what is your opinion, Teo, on new trending topics to make print-on-demand tees on it and just ride new waves? Can you show example if that's a good idea? Maybe it's just something happening in news. Yeah, of course. I mean, you guys know who Barron Trump is? So he basically take a look at this. So he created a shirt and it broke the internet. Well, he wore a shirt. So he goes on these like plane rides, Air Force One and things like that. This is basically Trump's son, but he wears these shirts, right? Here's a shirt right here. On your mark, Tiger Shark. And as a matter of fact, what's the store? The store that bought it, that sells it, J. Crew. So they actually sold out of this product right here. How can you sell out of a product, of a t-shirt product? You can all just, I know because I'm in this business. You just print a new product. You just print a new shirt, right? The only way you're going to sell out is if you're not printing fast enough. So they actually sold out of this shirt. So yeah, you can definitely do that. There was a guy who went out there and when Osama bin Laden was killed, he created a shirt for that, and he made like $1 million doing that, right? Selling this one shirt. So you can definitely do that. You can definitely go out there, find trends, see what's hot right now, and because of the things that you know right now in Facebook ads, you can go out there and just crush that market. Okay, this works for anything. This works for apparel. This works for hats. This works for another example. Here's a bad example though. Here's a really bad example. You guys know Stranger Things? Okay, so Stranger Things is a show on Netflix, and this is a pretty bad example, but it's not really copyright. But if you start adding the name Stranger Things, or you start adding the image of someone from Stranger Things, then that's when it gets bad, right? But if you're just selling a baseball hat like this and you just name it baseball hat from popular movie or popular show, right? And then you target people who are into Stranger Things, then yeah, you can probably get away with that. But if you're starting to trademark things and start saying, hey, this is Stranger Things hat, you got to buy it because of Stranger Things, then that's when you're going to get in trouble. But yeah, you could definitely do things like this, and when things are hot. Like, for example, Star Wars right now is hot, but it's so difficult to get into that market. getting licenses for that. Another one that's hot could be like new movies that come out, right? And then you target these keywords, these interests. So that just gets your brain going there. So I hope that helped there, Nate. Alex says, if you launch a store for Thanksgiving, how would you deal with the long shipping times from AliExpress? So I wouldn't. I would basically like 20 days prior to Thanksgiving or 14 days prior to Thanksgiving. If your store is for Thanksgiving, then I wouldn't launch it because you're going to get a lot of angry customers. And I would stop the ads right around the time that it takes for your products to get to your customer. David says, it would be great if all sessions have keywords to suggest what the content of the webinar in order to re-listen. Yeah, so once I have the time for that, David, I will go ahead and do that. Nate says, is there a site for best trending things? So one of the best trending sites I use is called Google Trends. This is like one of the easiest ones. But another one you can do is you can go on Twitter and find out what people are talking about. And also like the news, just go on CNN and see what people are talking about. And you're going to see different trends here in the past 24 hours. Another one is also Google Insights. So if you go here, you can see, oh yeah, that was basically Google Trends, but Google Insights was basically back in the days where you're able to go in here and then see a lot of these trends here where you can see the keywords, what people are searching for, like for example, Bitcoin right now, right? Bitcoin. It's kind of interesting. The keyword buy Bitcoin, it goes up and down when people are like buying Bitcoin, and it goes down when Bitcoin goes down. So buy Bitcoin. So this keyword here, it goes up when people are searching for when they want to buy Bitcoin and it's going up. But then when Bitcoin goes down, like not a lot of people are searching for buy Bitcoin. But then when it goes up again, and people are seeing that Bitcoin is going up, everyone is searching for that term, buy Bitcoin, right? And look at this right here. So from November to December. So obviously, like you guys know what happened with Bitcoin the past few months. That happened there. Okay. So we can see like all these different trending topics. So would it be a good idea to create a Bitcoin shirt? Yeah, I think it would. It would be a really great idea. Is Bitcoin copyright? I don't know. You got to take a look at that. Nate says, thank you. You got it, Nate. For that example you showed, that's Redbubble. So this example here, the Barron Trump shirt, yeah, I think that is Redbubble. Let's take a look here. So Redbubble is doing it, and then so T-shirt. So a lot of people are starting to do this now. You see that? A lot of people are actually like creating this shirt. On your mark, Tiger Shark. Okay, on your mark, Tiger Shark. I would just imagine how much money you would make from that. Doing that. Also, other trends would be like Mother's Day, Father's Day, right? You can find out, like, you can go out there and you can do like Mother's Day quote and like funny Mother's Day quotes, and you can put it on a shirt, you can put it on a mug, okay, you can put it on all kinds of things. There was this guy out there, he went and created a mug, and that says basically said that Mom, happy Mother's Day. If you were another mom, I would punch her in the face and run to you, right? It was like something that some kid said a long time ago, and some guy put that on a mug, and he sold 12,000 of those during Mother's Day. So 12,000 sales during Mother's Day. So that's something that you could do. Something that really, that the message is really what will sell. It's not about the design. It's not about like any of this. It's just the message, right? The design will just supplement that, and that's from my experience. Alex says, on your Stranger Things example, would your store end up being a Stranger Things store? No. You don't want to do trademark stuff. You're gonna get your ad account banned. This would leave you quite limited if you don't have a license. Yeah, so you always want to get a license. If not, you're gonna get banned on Facebook. Your ad account will actually get banned. There was a student here that actually had their ad account banned. Alex says, on the example, Donald Trump's son, would it end up being a Trump store? Possibly, or it could just be a pretty general store, like a trendy store type of idea. Alex says, Bitcoin, sure, great idea. Thank you for that. You got it, Alex. Nate says, dumb question. Suppose I see something in the news, trending thing. I make a quote, slap a T-shirt, print on demand, make a quick ad, and target scale crazy. Can that work fast? Yeah, you bet it can. And especially if people are in the mindset of that, right? Like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. What happened to a lot of you guys? A lot of you guys, your cost went up, right? It's a pretty obvious thing. That's where the market is headed. A lot of people are spending a lot of money to get those, to bump off the competitors so that they get all the traffic for those days because they know they're going to make a lot of money during those days. Same thing with Christmas time. Okay, obviously everyone's buying, so traffic is going to be increased. So during now until Christmas, you're going to see that your traffic costs will actually be increased. If you're not one of those bigger players, then you need to be a bigger player, and you need to start becoming a little bit more aggressive with your ads so that you can compete with those people that are getting the bulk majority of that traffic. Because I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of sales during this week, during these few weeks, but it's up to you whether or not you want to actually break through that mindset. Remember the $1 million mindset? Break through that mindset, dive in, and actually get to your goals. Whatever it takes for you to get to your goals, you're going to do whatever it takes to get there. And he says, are we allowed to use celebrity names, personalities like Trump? So here's the thing with trademark. You want to be careful with some quotes as well. Some quotes are trademarked, some quotes are copyrighted, etc. So you want to be very, very careful with that. And so you want to search for that first. No need for license if someone, no need to license if using someone famous, right? So you might be able to, like, someone famous. That also falls into the category. So you don't want to get in trouble by doing that. All right, guys. Well, it's almost time. And I really want to thank you guys for this session. Put a 5 in the box if you guys learned a lot during this session. If you guys learned a lot of things, a lot of cool stuff about, how to plan for 2018, the $1 million mindset. We're probably going to go over that $1 million mindset again, but put a boom in the chat box if you guys are actually going to apply that $1 million mindset, right? This week, today, even. If you're going to apply that $1 million mindset, you have a good selling product out there. You know it's selling. You're very confident in this product. You know that you've made like X amount of sales. You're going to dive in. You're going to either launch more ads, launch more smaller ads, or launch fewer bigger ads. Put a boom in the chat box if you guys are going to do that. Put a 5 if you have got a lot of value out of this. Nate says thank you. You got it, Nate. Alex 5, Bobby 5, Brandon 5. You got it, Alex. You're welcome. Nate 5, Jimmy 5, Peter says 6. Nate says thank you, grow rich. Yeah, so it is Nate, thank you, grow rich. Alex says boom, Jimmy boom, David 5, Zishan 5 all day. Thank you so much. You got it, Zishan. Nate says 5, Brandon boom, Nate boom, Jay. I don't even know how you got that emoji on there, Jay, but that's pretty cool. He put the little boom emoji. Mercedes says boom, Ali boom, Bobby boom, Sylvia 5, Mercedes 5. You got it, guys. Thank you so much for this. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. Millionaire mindset, okay? Picture yourself, if you were a millionaire before, if you were a billionaire before, how would you get to that $1 billion? I had a friend tell me he's made $1 million 5 times in his life. He went bankrupt 5 times in his life. It's pretty crazy, but he told me, Teo, every single time I make $1 million, I know how to make that back. So if you're in that position, if you knew how to make it back, what would you do? What would you do differently? Would you stick with those little tiny $30 ads here and there? Or once you find those winners of those $30 ads, are you going to take the next step? Are you going to proceed forward? Are you going to take the next step to getting, let's say, theoretically getting back to that $1 million that you were on before? Just think of it that way, right? You had $1 million before. How am I going to get it back? And then do the math. Every single day, wake up. I need to make this much. In terms of e-commerce, depending on what my margins are, I need to scale it up to this much to make $1 million. If I'm making $100,000 and I'm getting 25% margin to make 25K, I need to 3.2 times that so I can make $320,000 a month. So I can have 25% margins to make $1 million in a year. All right, so those are the things that you got to be doing. Just do the math, guys. I know you guys will do it. I know some of you, not all of you, are going to get to that $1 million in Shopify. Okay, I know some of you will get there. If not all of you, I hope all of you will get there. Okay, my 100,000 goal, 100 students to 100,000 or 100 students to 6 figures goal is getting there. It's pretty much conservative. I want you guys to hit over 100,000. I want you guys to hit 500, a million, just like what some of you guys are already doing right now. Okay. Once again, thank you guys. And any of you guys that are going to that Shopify event up in Hoboken tonight, I'll see you there. If not, that's cool as well. But anytime you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the Slack group. Okay, that's what we have this membership for. We're here to help all of you, everyone all together. And I hope you guys do great. And I'll see you on the next webinar. Thanks so much.